Good morning, this is Claire, the Lyme Warrior. Forest is just waking up and it's going to be a beautiful day, so I thought I'd come outside and give you a talk. It's going to be really pretty, so I'll be working out in the garden as much as I can. So as you can see, I've got my colorful Lyme disease awareness hair going on. And I've got my Lyme disease awareness fingernails going on, so I'm all geared up for May, which is Lyme disease awareness month. But in the meantime, I got a question from a viewer, woohoo, that I think I should go ahead and answer. And the question is, how does one differentiate between neuropsychiatric Lyme disease and bipolar disorder? How can they be clinically differentiated? And if psychiatric drugs do improve your condition, does that mean it's not Lyme disease? So, first of all, the first question, Lyme disease is strictly a clinical diagnosis, just as bipolar disorder. They look at a set of symptoms, they look at a set of behaviors, and they determine, okay, it must be this, or it must be that. As far as I know, there's no blood test, there's no specific test for for bipolar. Again, they're just looking at symptoms and behaviors. As far as I know, I could be wrong. The same goes for Lyme. Yes, there are blood tests for Lyme, but those that are covered by insurance have a 60% or possibly more false negative rate, which means a false negative means that you get a negative reading, but you're actually positive. So the way that happens is, for those of us that walk around with Lyme for a long time, in my case, probably 13, 14 years, the immune system is so suppressed at that point that it's no longer making antibodies for the disease. Well, these blood tests are looking for antibodies. So if there's no antibodies for a disease, you get a negative reading. But you could be completely full, chock full as they say, of the bacteria that causes Lyme. So once you've got that negative result, insurance says, well, you don't have Lyme disease, we're not covering anything that involves Lyme disease, that's it, sorry. So then you got to move on. You got to move on to a Lyme literate physician, and they're very difficult to find, very difficult. Number one, simply because there are very few of them who are interested enough in the situation. I guarantee you they're going to become very interested very soon. But two is that they're vilified by insurance companies and attacked by insurance companies, which sounds very tin hat, but we experienced that directly, my husband and myself. The physician that originally diagnosed my husband and later myself, or me, was destroyed, almost destroyed by insurance companies. He still treats patients, which is great because he's a wonderful doctor and a wonderful human being. But he can't talk about Lyme. He can't use the L word, as it were. And that's very sad because he sees patients all the time with it and he can't talk about it. So really, clinical diagnosis can't be more important in both Lyme disease and bipolar. Lyme has been associated with bipolar disorder, ADD, autism, generalized anxiety disorder. I'm just going through the neuropsychiatric stuff. Mood swings, clinical depression. There's a list of others, but we're just discussing bipolar right now. I can't name everything off the top of my head. But as far as bipolar is concerned, it very well could be Lyme. And the only answer is find a Lyme literate physician and get tested properly. Most Lyme literate physicians don't even bother with the tests. I mean, they have them done, but they also look at you clinically And again, look at a system. There's my aphasia. A collection of symptoms. When they see, 1, 2, or 3 symptoms that agree with a Lyme diagnosis, then they go, okay, it's Lyme. So what I would suggest, Steve, is to look at any other symptoms you may have, any unrelated symptoms. If you've been to specialist after specialist after specialist for different reasons, and none of them can really come up with anything other than totally different diagnoses, you might want to look at Lyme. Again, finding those doctors is so hard. I wish I could give you a better answer, a more hopeful answer, because I know bipolar causes such tremendous suffering, and I just hurt for you. I hope that you do find answers, and that you do find the treatment that you deserve. Anyway, moving on. Your other question about the drugs. I can tell you that my personality has completely changed. It had started to change when the Lyme took hold. It took hold last year, when I finally just could not take anymore, and I didn't understand what was happening to me. I was diagnosed with depression and generalized anxiety disorder, and plain old anxiety and panic attacks, and just everything. Especially for women, I will tell you, if you keep hearing depression and generalized anxiety disorder, which is what all women hear from every doctor, ignore them. It's just, I can't think of any other thing than it's just that we're women. At any rate, drugs do help symptoms in both Lyme and bipolar, so absolutely stay on those medications. Again, like I was saying, my personality was changing. I'm on many medications now, and my personality has completely changed, either for the better or for worse. I figure everybody needs a makeover, and so I've had my makeover, so now I'm having a psychiatric makeover. So maybe it'll be an improvement. But I'm sure you've experienced this, that your family and friends are probably having difficulties adjusting to the new you. And my family and friends are having difficulty as well, realizing that I'm an entirely different person than I was before. So, but hopefully that we'll all adjust, or better yet, I will come back to the old me, maybe with a few improvements after treatment is completed, and I hopefully get better. There's no guarantees. The reason so many people are affected in so many ways is the spirochete can do whatever it wants. It's a corkscrew-shaped organism, microorganism. So like a cancer, it can do what it wants. There's brain cancer, there's bone cancer, there's stomach cancer, there's lung cancer. All of them are still cancers, and they affect the body in different ways. So if you have it in your brain, naturally, it's safe to assume you're going to have psychiatric issues. Or even, neurological issues as well. Those drugs can help the symptoms, they do not help cure the disease. So you may end up on those drugs for the rest of your life. Or you can get tested, but the correct testing is not covered by insurance. Neither are the treatments most of the time. So you're looking at all of this out of pocket. And I will tell you that Michael and I have lost everything. Well, we'll lose everything. We have money left, but we will lose most of our money and probably our retirement income trying to fight this disease. But just because we're going to be broke doesn't mean we are broke. So we've decided to go for it and try to get better. We're fortunate enough that we can at least try. It breaks my heart for those who can't afford even the beginnings of treatment. It really breaks my heart. But I'm not going to get weepy about it. So, in a nutshell, that's my answer. I hope I didn't go over my time limit, but I hope I gave you a good answer, and I hope I gave you a hopeful answer. And I appreciate your question so much, because it was a really good one, and it made me start the day off right. So please, you guys, if you all have any questions, please feel free to email me at warriors.of.lyme@gmail.com. That would be awesome, and I would love to hear from you and answer any questions or comments that I might receive. So, and I hope to have a mailbox full before I know it. So I'm looking forward to Lyme Disease Awareness Month, and I hope to do that very thing, raise some awareness. So I hope you'll tune in, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.